Light the beam! Light the beam! Light the beam! Light the beam!
Oh, what do you say we light the beam indeed? Maybe bang the drum while we're at it. Welcome in
Banging something.
to another edition, flicking something, to another edition of the Sports Cave with Biggest Puma. back on our normal Tuesday, Thursday nights. And as someone who doesn't enjoy leaving my downtown bubble, let me tell you, it's very nice to be back on Tuesday and Thursday nights since I did the radio show with Uncle Andy earlier today and just had to pop down the street here back for a regular program. Did the NCAA tourney watch party last Friday. Appreciate all of y'all that hung out with us. I think our longest stream to date.
4 hours.
Broke
man.
the 4 hour.
I was like, dang.
Well, that was the goal. I kind of thought we might peter out after a couple hours, but
3 to 7. Yeah.
Made it all the way for a 4 hour stream, but back with a run sheet tonight, back with a lot to get to from over the weekend. Let's see. We're going to do a little weekend recap as usual. First show back. Weekend recap. I've got a few things, but I would be lying if I said I didn't just watch college basketball for 12 hours a day, every day since last Thursday, basically. So we're going to do college. We'll talk some more college hoops in the main seggy. Look at the Sweet 16 matchups. I went, and if y'all followed my lead, we went 26-6 on our first round picks.
Dude, there was some dude that only lost, I think, 3 or 4 games in one of my bracket pools.
That's pretty good.
I was
That's
like,
pretty damn good.
Of course, it was all the Texas homers, and they're like,
Yeah.
I got them going to the Final Four, bro.
That's the problem.
They got me, man.
That's the problem with filling out a bracket, because every now and then, when a lower seed makes it, although Texas, no Cinderella, but lower seed, when they make a deep run, all the homers end up having the last accurate bracket. I saw I think it was the Iowa over Florida game.
That one was great. God.
That ended. That was when there were officially no more publicly submitted brackets that were 100% accurate.
After that game?
I think that was because that was Florida a 1 seed.
Yeah.
It was either that one or maybe it was. No, I'm pretty sure it was that one. But regardless, we're going to talk about the NCAA Sweet 16 and recap the tournament in the main seggy. Of course, we got Spurs notes. We back-to-back blowouts in favor of your Spurs, but I've got an update on the Don Harris versus Kevin O'Connor Twitter battle.
Oh, God.
So the gift that keeps on giving. Don is not backing down, and rightfully so. So we got a round 2 update on that, as well as I think the talk.
I think the real talk is Wemby, what he's saying about his MVP battle, which was quite refreshing.
I want to get into that. Because I'm curious to hear, a lot of the old head Spurs fans are, well, I don't want to hear him say that. It's championship over everything, which it is.
Yeah.
But I think the two can coexist because, we're going to get into that in Spurs notes as well. And then it's happened again. The captain has called for the ball for the final shot of the episode. The ender.
I got this. Let's. Hopefully, it's loaded up. I'm gonna send it to you via not proper channels if it's not loaded.
Send it
up,
via
LG.
carrier.
Whatever
pigeon.
the first thing you sent's not loading.
Oh, that's a spectacular.
That's the one.
So we've got that to look forward to as Cap scrambles to prepare the ender for tonight's episode. Of course,
Son of a.
lightning round. We will do some more today in sports history. I've got a movie that's getting a lot of buzz. Want to ask y'all about that as well in lightning round, and MLB opening night tomorrow for your Yankees. The rest of MLB opening day Thursday. We're going to be massively distracted when we're in the room Thursday, because
Hopefully they got a quad box.
baseball is officially back in our lives in less than 24 hours. So we got to talk a little bit of that before we get out of here as well. But 30 days away now, a nice even number.
1 month.
Less than a month till the NFL draft. What is that? April 23rd, if my math is correct there. First round. April 23rd, we shall see. It was funny
For
seeing
a 3-day event that should be 2 days.
the Saturday is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, now granted,
It's like watching the combine.
do I usually end up watching until the Cowboys make their final pick in the 7th round? Yes, I do.
You got a little beeper on there like Cowboys on the clock.
That's exactly it. Getting the updates, getting the alerts. But no, it's I don't think we're gonna have. I think most of the NFL storylines have dissipated between now and draft. I think we are fully locked into mock drafts and that sort.
I was fully locked in on the TGL finals with Tiger coming back. Got my Tiger Red shirt on.
Are they winning?
They lost.
Oh, it's over?
It's over. They got routed. They lost like the last 5 holes. It was like 9-5.
Okay, I had a conspiracy. I was telling Andy earlier, I think it was off air, but earlier when I was out at the station for the radio show.
You thought he was gonna like win and have a glorious comeback because it's his tournament?
Well, I thought the conspiracy was going to be someone on LA misses like a 3-foot putt at the end to extend it one more night, because the ratings tonight, I think Andy made a great point. The ratings for that match tonight are probably they're probably more than all of the previous season added up. All of it combined.
Tiger's back.
Exactly. But unfortunately,
and as LG said, he was like, man, he does not look good. He was all like, he's part
rusty.
Asian and black. Why is he cracking?
he's rusty. He's rusty. I think we'll next time we'll see him will be at Augusta for the Masters. But on this National Cheesecake Day, on this National Cocktail Day, before we go any further,
Cheesecake and cocktails?
yeah, what goes better than that?
Man, that's just tearing up the bathroom, buddy.
Yeah, you talk about me on gin that night. Imagine if I had eaten a Geno's cheesesteak or Beacon Hill.
Is it cheesesteak or cheesecake?
Did I say cake? It's cheesesteak.
Oh, it's cheesesteak. Oh, all right.
It's still going to tear you up.
It's going to tear you up. What's your favorite cheesesteak in the San Antonio general area? Someone might get some free pub out there. If you can always get more pub by giving us money.
I think for real. My favorite cheesesteak is insert sponsor name. No,
Exactly.
no, I think it's Beacon Hill. I think it's Beacon Hill Deli. It used to be Geno's, and it still might be Geno's, but I just don't like driving all the way out to the medical district.
Have you ever heard of a place called Used
Guys? I knew that was going to be true
Permanently
Philadelphians.
closed.
Yeah, I think they shut it down.
I'm crying another tear for that.
I think COVID killed it.
Yeah, I mean, they're small. They're like right by was that Randolph, right in Live Oak area.
Yeah,
So,
I almost said literally right over. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
They were proper. The only reason I know about them is because Carl's dad, Bill Schoening, would always talk about how that was his go-to as a proper.
That was the best spot.
Philadelphian. That's
They closed in December of 2025.
Okay, so they made it past.
They made it past.
Made
COVID.
it past. It was if COVID didn't get you, the tariffs will. Just give it time. Yeah, I had I was never out on that part of town often, but every time I randomly was, it was a pop in and grab a
Supposedly, I
sandwich.
think Malik's Phillies is right across the street from there.
Malik's is solid.
Yeah, that's a solid cheese.
He's got multiple locations too, because we hit that one that's at the what's it called? I think it's called like the Rosebud. It's like a little food truck.
Oh, yeah.
Right there on San Pedro, right up the street from SAC.
That little food truck park.
Yes.
Yes.
Rosebud, that little food truck park, as I just said. We go there every now and then. Malik's is like, when I want when we go to Malik's, it's because I want the loaded French fries. Which the one thing as I have tried not to eat healthier, but just to not eat as much in general, I usually eliminate all sides, especially with a sandwich.
Yeah, you
like
gotta get rid of the starches.
Get all of that out of there. But
Start eating like RFK Jr.
every now and then, some of those Malik cheese fries, buddy, you talk about wrecking your system. It's worth it. They are no, Malik's is solid. It's been around.
You know what was Saturday nationally?
It wasn't recognized Cesar Chavez Day.
Oh,
he had a rough weekend.
Oh, imagine getting canceled and you're like, what'd I do?
Yeah. Well, it is funny. All of a sudden, it's okay to take down city street
Mexican
names
statues.
and statues. It's funny. It's funny how
But
that works.
it was National Corn Dog Day.
Okay.
I love a good corn dog. More meats on a stick for everybody. You know, that's, I feel like Ron Swanson when I say that.
LG, we need to get Cap to Japan so he can just experience the greatness that is
Everything's on a stick.
everything on a skewer. Yeah, that was one of the you just munching down on yakitori and kushikatsu, all the delicious stuff best served on a stick.
I do not know what you just said, young man.
Nah, you'll love it. You'll love it. You'll also love the toilets. No, before we get into any of the meat of the content here and make our most recent attempt at a tight hour, LG, tell the good people how they can help support the program.
You can support by subscribing or by jumping in the super chat or just by participating on this dang thing by chatting with us in here. I see 9 of y'all watching right now. Hop in the chat, leave your comments, tell Captain how great Japan is, but you have to buy him a first class ticket because he doesn't fly coach.
I saw a commercial with this star, was it Kristen Bell's little kids getting to sleep on the first class thing? That's BS, bro.
Have you ever
That's
flown
BS.
first class?
They don't need that leg room. I need that leg room.
This is not. It's not like most things in life. It's not logic based.
Some BS, bro.
Have you ever?
It's class based.
That's correct.
Class based. Yes.
Kind of right there in
and
the
just
name.
throwing it in your face. Just like, look at my little kids in first class. Ooh, man, I put them on the back of the plane, dude.
Okay. Alabama bus driver. Good Lord.
Jeez.
How many?
When did that come? That's
when
not
did-
racial. That's,
Go to the back.
that's classism.
When did? Have either of any of the three of us flown first class before?
Yes.
That's all I fought.
Oh, so for once the bougie hipster
It hits my pocket,
This
and that's
is-
why you don't see me flying out to Japan with LG because that's a 10K rip right there.
Apparently, I'm the only man of the people here because I have never even come close to sniffing
I've
first
never
class.
paid for first class. I was upgraded on a flight from Bali to Tokyo by the flight attendants.
Ooh, did you get on one of those like nice Emirates planes or what?
It was Air Asia, but it was lay flat seats. So
Oh,
See, I give it up to Richard Bronson, not for being hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, but for his Virgin Atlantic flights. Those were the best.
thank you for clarifying that
Yes.
before you talked about his airline titled Virgin Atlantic.
Virgin Airlines was one of the best, and they used to always have a flight from like LA or San Diego straight to San Francisco, and the first class seats were
was that like
reasonably
an hour
priced.
flight?
Yeah, hour flight. But then I'd drive up to Austin because they had a hub in Austin, which would fly out to California. And it like, I think a first class seat was like $430 round trip. It was reasonably priced. Maybe it's all the underage
Has anybody
shenanigans
yeah, I
that
mean,
just made him real nice.
has anybody looked at airline prices lately? Because
I'm not going in an airport.
so the roommate has some,
ICE agent pops off of me, I'm gonna pop off of him, man.
She
Then
tried-
I'm arrested.
what are you going to be mistaken for? An
No, they're just,
Albanian
that's
illegal?
what I'm saying. Like, you want my ID?
Yeah, I think
You want my ID?
I think you're fine. I think you're fine. No, the roommate, because she travels a lot with work, she's got a bunch of unused miles and stuff that, like, we've got to book a trip by the end of April, I think it is.
Oh, you better get it.
Well, I think it can. I think it
LG,
can
you got miles. I got miles.
I used them all on my last trip to Japan.
to Japan.
Oh, man.
I think we have to get it booked, but then it can be anytime between then and like the next 6 months or something.
Can you
So
change
we're-
it? You can change it out within that. Like, I don't know.
I don't know how it works, but all I know is I am receiving immense amount of pressure to book.
What's up, Far West Texas? Where should Puma go?
I'm still.
I think we should leave it up to the sports cave.
I talked about it on the pod Friday. I am infatuated with Idaho for the last month. Bald eagles this time of year, perfect weather.
It's sea turtles sex
Yeah.
season, dude.
You ever seen a bald eagle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many of them.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
Florida.
Yeah, zoos, Florida.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
excluding
I
zoos.
saw one in Arkansas.
Oh, Mister, I never go to a zoo. You're like, yeah,
My
I've
dad,
seen them all the
my
time.
dad lived in like right south of Little Rock in this little hot springs village with like 5 golf courses in it. It was a lot of old.
They're
people.
all over South Florida, Alligator Alley and Naples area.
Yeah, see, I've never seen one in the wild.
You'll
And
see
so
it.
I've added that on my list of reasons to visit
Bald
Idaho
eagle.
soon. I
Bald
told her it's either
America.
Tangier, Morocco, or Boise, Idaho, or Moscow, Idaho. Those are the 2 options. So
I think we're gonna go with Morocco there, buddy. Like I don't know what you're gonna do too much in Idaho. This is the 18th way you can fry a potato.
I can go show off my knot tying ability to all the locals.
Oh, you are an Eagle Scout.
That's right. See, they actually appreciate crap like that up there. That's real American.
Nothing like a properly tied square knot.
See, that's exactly right. Comes in way more
Left
handy,
over right over left.
way more handy than I imagined. Whenever I was a 15-year-old being forced to not quit Boy Scouts. Good job, Dad. I appreciate that. No, as LG said, help us keep the program going. Do y'all realize a week from today is the 1-year anniversary of the 3 of us doing this program?
So opening day was later in March. Our first episode was on opening day.
That was, so I guess it was it's in another notebook because this doesn't go back far enough. Yeah, it must have been because we did.
Might have been like a 28th or something or 29th. I think we're less than a week away.
No, the 31st was the first day.
Yep, March 31st.
Yeah. And I'll tell you also why I know. Because I get my haircut tomorrow. And if you remember,
Yeah, once a year.
yeah. I've bumped it up to twice a year now.
So we gonna go party in the back, business in the front.
I'm thinking
let's go, bro.
mullets are so out of date. I'm thinking skullet and just have the monk shaved head and just have the reverse mullet.
I'd pay for that.
Would you? You look
pay
like
for
a
I think we can get a bunch of subbies for that.
look like a San Diego Padres mascot from
Just
the.
think of all like how
80s.
cool your head would be. You know,
It's about to be summertime.
summertime.
No, it's a simple trim. It's a simple trim. No, as LG said, as we close in on a year of this, appreciate all of y'all that have supported us and kept the program going so far. Always
Appreciate LG for setting up this equipment and not so much for locking the AC. I'm gonna
look,
figure out that code, bro.
maybe we can get an official AC sponsor that could potentially be your.
I know a guy.
See, well, it's not. We don't need. This is not.
I know a guy.
See, this is the difference. This is not an I know a guy type of deal. We're like, we need
we need money from him.
we need a respectable business that has
He'll hook you up straight to the power lines.
that files their taxes and doesn't take payment in only cash. Yeah, that's more what we're looking for. But no, if you do want to support the program tonight, throw a super chat out there. We'll get to them before the lightning round. If it's on topic, we'll get to it in the middle. I'm curious where y'all's heads are at, not just you and LG, but where the rest of everybody's heads at after hearing what Wimby said last night after the game about the MVP race. So If you throw something out there about the Spurs, we'll get to it in Spurs notes, main Seggy, NCAA, but we'll get to them all before a lightning round.
So nothing really over the weekend for you? I had a pretty busy weekend, man.
Well, you want to kick it off?
Well, let me kick
You
it
want
off.
the baton?
So I leave my computer here, correct? Just so I don't have to keep bringing it in, bringing it out. You know, I don't ever use it for anything else. But I figured out what I do use it for when I forget my phone.
Ah.
So the unfortunate thing happened as I was going to try some delicious Dogfather that, you know, Sean Elliott and them keep talking about on the Spurs.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of run on those Spurs broadcasts. Some real show synergy.
I popped my tire. Like, my tire got popped.
No.
Yeah, so I pull into old Slacks over there by North Star, you know, sitting there trying to figure out my Farmers app. You know, I had to file a claim, do something, but, you know, it's about 11 o'clock at night, so they're not open. And I decide, F it. I'm going to call Lyft and deal with it in the morning. Well, I go to my car to start getting everything out, all the valuables and whatnot, you know, and I leave my phone in the car. And I lock and like I lift home. How am I supposed to communicate with anybody? I don't have a computer. I don't have another phone. There's no way for me to get a ride, a lift back to there. It was a complete blackout.
You're describing my ideal Sunday.
Yes.
Of just not having a way to be contacted.
Your ideal Sundays having a pop tire, having to deal with it.
Well, mine are, despite the initiator of said scenario.
So lo and behold, I'm sitting there, you know, this kicking back, trying to get some motivational fuel, trying to figure out how am I going to talk to someone. And I realized I have a web browser on my Fire Stick. Amazon Silk.
So you're
not the best.
You're using
not the best
an Amazon streaming stick as your main form of communication
as a browser. So I'm like, I'll log into Instagram and I'll hit somebody up on Instagram. Well, guess who forgot their Instagram password?
I'm gonna say you.
This guy.
That's right. Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
And the amount of tapping and going back and forth on the little Amazon remote, trying to refresh the Amazon browser. It took me 2 hours, bro.
You should have pulled up the Wii browser, the Nintendo
You think
Wii
I got
browser.
a Wii? No, man. I haven't played a video game since we played Mario Kart here. That was the last one I played, man.
Fair.
And yeah, about text the old wifey about 3:30 in the morning. Hey, I need you to holler at me when you wake up. I left my phone in the truck and it's over at Slacks. She's like, oh, what kind of a night you have? And I'm like, it wasn't fun. I was like, I was just trying to get something to eat. But yeah, that was pretty hellish, man. I need to get like a burner or something so I can call somebody, like just in case.
What you need to just go back to, well, I guess a beeper wouldn't have helped you in that. No, that wouldn't have.
A sidekick would have.
There you go. Yeah. An LG chocolate.
I never realized how like alone, like with no computer, no phone, using Amazon Silk browser and Instagram.
Yeah, again, you're describing an ideal scenario to me outside of the pop tire and the hassle.
I know you don't like answering your phone. Every time I call, I'm like, man, this guy's not going to answer his phone.
I answered Sunday because I was loaded watching college basketball with a chef buddy, which actually ties in to my weekend recap here in a second.
Yeah.
I when I'm sitting at the house, I don't keep my phone in the same room.
Wow.
Because I hate it. I don't like it. It's rewired. Okay, you want full conspiracy tinfoil hat? It's rewiring our brains as a society.
Oh, yeah.
It's the thinking about if you're working a 9-to-5 job, Monday through Friday, you're actually working a 24/7 job because you've got your work email on that phone. And just the thought of knowing that you are able to be reached, that's rewiring your brain of you're never turning off. You're never it's never not some level of work mode up in here. You're never fully turning on the leisure portion of your brain. And you're constantly, even when you're not on your phone, if it's within reach or if it's within eyesight, your brain is still thinking, hey, I bet you've got an email, or I bet you've got a text, or I bet you've got a tweet or an Instagram or whatever.
It's a visual reminder of I can be reached. But
I started doing that
for
like
work
3 years ago, and
for work,
game changer.
Wife, kid, anything.
Yeah,
I'm like, if you don't call me, I do not have to respond to said text message, especially email. Especially I make that is day one. If you email me and it's for work or something like that, I'll see it and I choose not to answer because I don't want to set the precedence that you can reach me at all times.
That's right.
You've got mail.
Yeah, no, you got a dial tone, you know?
Yeah, the kid aspect
or the
of
voicemail. You have voicemail.
I think changes a lot of the hardline stance against being unreachable.
Yeah.
But I think
But I'm like, you have to call. I'm like, dude, if you text me, it's not important.
like,
I'm like, if you be like, I was like, I do not feel any urgency to answer any text messages.
no, that's I'll get to it when I get to it because clearly you don't need an immediate answer or response or anything, or you would have called. I just think back to like I saw this floating around social media this weekend. The generation that was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, became adults in the 2000s, you know. The amount of transformational technological change that occurred in the, foundational years of mind development and growing up.
Started with the NES and the internet.
Look,
then
there were a lot of people in
cell phones,
a lot of people in my parents' parent church group that accurately predicted video games were going to be the end of the world. No, it was that god dang duck hunt that ruined it for everybody. No, I just think back to like having the childhood where the phone wasn't involved whatsoever. The leaving the house and knowing that when the sun came down was when I needed to go home for dinner.
You got to check in, like see if I can
Check
go.
in.
Can I go to Billy's house? Yeah, you do that at sundown.
And you're doing it face to face in person. You're not texting or calling.
You're bringing your friend along to put pressure
for
on.
peer pressure. Yeah, so
You're putting peer pressure on your parents. You're like, can I go to his house? Come on.
being raised with a mother that was a 35 plus year public school educator.
She didn't fall for it.
That crap didn't work at all for her. She had no problem telling in front. Nope, absolutely not.
You're telling me you didn't have 5-hour long phone calls with your first girlfriend with the 50-foot coiled cable running from the kitchen to the bedroom?
Remember the terror of wanting to call a girl that didn't have her own line. Where
you got to talk to the dad.
You're gonna get one of the parents. Yeah, no. The first game changer. That's perfect, LG.
Yeah.
The first game changer was when people started getting their own home phone lines in their rooms.
Separate lines.
Who
Separate
had the
lines.
parents that listened in?
They were a big eavesdropper
Oh, my mom was an eavesdropper, bro.
from up the stairs. Like it's a
I hear that
wonderful
click and I'm like,
life.
Mom, is that you? You on the line? Get on the line! Get on the line! Mom!
I still remember meeting girls at like track meets and tennis tournaments in high school.
Oh,
and
long distance.
And having to buy phone cards, like the long distance phone cards that were like, pay $50 up front. And it's like, you have this amount of minutes. I was calling, you talk about 5-hour phone calls. I was calling McGregor, Texas.
This
for
is how much I love you, babe.
5 hours at a time
This is
at $40.
$40. And that was a lot of money back
That was
then.
a lot of money. A lot of money. Yeah,
That was 4 yards.
so all that to say, like I have tried the best I can to rewire my brain back to what it was before this thing made it easy to constantly take my attention. Because I think that's the other side of it. This whole
we're living in a society.
yeah, we're supposed to be the ADD, ADHD explosion, rise, and all of that. I think that's a lot of this too, because your mind is never that you're just thinking about the endless potential of distractions that this thing could be giving you right now.
And no offense, it's our generation that's the most addicted.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I don't know if Gen X, maybe millennials would be on that list, but the kids are starting to buck the system. My kid didn't sign up for anything until he got a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the great equalizer.
He chose not, and his activity on his Instagram account is like nothing. And like
less active than I am.
Yeah, like he's probably got less pictures than me, which is like 5. It's like he's got one picture and he scrolls and talks. But the kids talk through Discord, they talk through anything. You remember the story of me tracking down the kid when he went on his first little trip to St. Louis?
Yeah.
And I had to go through his Discord, and his friend gave me, and I'm like, should I click on any of these pictures? And he's like, no.
Probably not.
And I'm like, yeah.
You want to end up on a feds list? Probably not.
I mean,
yeah.
He was 18. He was 19 at the time, but I'm not trying to. I'm like, I don't
you still want no part of that. No,
the mom saw him with a full on. And she's like, I saw it. I can't unsee it.
You're not getting.
I was like, that's why I don't look through the messages.
You're not getting that back.
I don't look through the messages.
That's the equivalent of like, should I open this shoebox of Polaroids? No, you probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't.
My dad used to steal my Polaroids. I'm like, that's a felony there, guy.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to explain it when you're asked. Why are you in possession?
I had
of
to
all
keep
this?
on. He hit him by his Playboys, and I'm like, I know where your Playboys are, man. So I'd take them back, and it was like a little unsaid war between us. And finally, I was like, dude, stop doing it. When I was like 15 years old,
yeah, you just gotta stop.
I was like, you got to stop taking these young girls' photos that are mine. What are you talking about? And I'm like, you know what we've been doing for the last 6 months, dude.
Yeah, like, come on.
I hide it somewhere else. You find it and you put it right back in the same place, right where your Playboys are. I've seen all your Playboys, yes.
Speaking of Playboys, yes. One time I stole a Playboy from my pops' stash. And
he's like, wait a minute, where's June?
So it was one that had like an interview with it wasn't a Hunter S. Thompson article, but there was literally it was because it was like one specific they were old. It was from the 60s. It was something about like Kennedy or something, something politics related. And I remember my dad was like, son, I'm not mad. I just really want it back. It's part of a collection and I know what you're doing. I get it.
This is gonna be big money.
But it's actually for the articles. I swear. Like I need that one back. I really need it. Speaking of childhood, I might have contributed to a minor this weekend.
Oh man, you need to phrase that totally different.
Contributed illicit substances to a minor this weekend.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know where allegedly. Okay.
Allegedly. That's why I'm saying I might. I don't have evidence or solid proof.
How did this go about?
So we were out at a bar. The bar has rules at 9:00. It's 21 and up only, right? There is something else the kids are bringing back. Apparently screamo emo music, which I mean,
is that like Pete Wentz or something like that?
Yeah, even maybe a little more metalcore, a little heavier. Look, a time and place, and when you're 15 and full of angst, Taking Back Sunday,
Limp
Census
Bizkit.
Fail. That was a little
Korn.
more. See, that was more Family Values tour, not Warped Tour. Like it feels like the Warped Tour type bands are having a
Green
revival.
Day, Blink.
Yeah, like I said, like you're Taking Back Sunday, brand new, Newfound Glory for the chicks, and less developed masculine boys. There was a concert
Can
at
we
the
clip
bar.
that one? The less developed masculine boys.
Well, I didn't want to just say I'm trying to be FCC. The boys,
the twinks.
the bitches. Yeah, looking at you, you know who you are. You listen to Newfound Glory in your high school. Come on, you knew that was terrible. So they were having one of these, a pretty well attended. Like, it caught me off guard how many people were there whenever we walked in, because I had no idea it was going on. We usually aim to get there right at 9 o'clock. So all the people with kids are leaving, which opens up a lot of parking spots. So we can usually kind of do the crossover, and we avoid kids at the bar, because you shouldn't take your kid to a bar to begin with. That's just ridiculous. You also shouldn't take your dog either, but that's a whole nother point. No, zero circumstances. It's a
baby.
It's an establishment where vices are served. You don't need your kids there. So we get there this time. It's Friday night, and I wanted to get there in time for the tip-off of the final window of tournament games, college basketball games. So we get there a little early. We get there like 8:30, 8:40-ish. And I immediately walk in. I've got a routine. Walk in, get my round, take a shot, walk out back, burn a heater, while Steph figures out, plots the landscape of where we're going to sit and whatnot. So I go outside. I'm burning a heater.
It's a well-oiled machine over there.
It is. Well, you look. Both of us are half German. Efficiency, baby. Efficiency it's that German, Swedish, Scandinavian. Like, if there's a way to do something, there's a way to do it at its most efficient way possible. So I pop outside. I'm burning a heater, and this chick walks up to me, and clearly there for the concert, And the first red flag should have been when she asked me, "Is that a cigarette?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah. No, it's just tobacco." Because I was thinking she was like, "Oh, you holding weed, man?
You burning a J, bro?
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me take a toke, right?
You get a hit."
And so she was like, "Oh, perfect." I'm trying to find
What y'all smoking on?
a cigarette. And so she asked me for one, and give her a cigarette. Don't think anything about it. Ask her who's playing. Like, oh, okay, cool. Never heard of them. Enjoy the show, whatever. She goes off. About 15 minutes later, I see her and her group of friends walking out of the bar because they have just been told it's now 9 o'clock and you have to be 21 or older. And I said to Steph, as we were sitting inside, I was like, "Oh, hey, there's the chick that bummed the cigarette." And she's like, "You mean the one that's leaving because she's not 21 years old?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess it's 9 o'clock.
I keep forgetting it's 21.
Exactly.
I keep forgetting it's 21.
And the
I'm like
next thing,
18 years old,
the
man.
next thing the roommate said to me was, "Oh, so you contributed to a minor?" I was like, "No." Like, I gave her a cigarette, and she looked at me. And she's like,
I contributed to an adult
So-
that is not allowed to buy something yet, which seems ridiculous to say.
Now, granted, again,
They can vote, they can die for our country, but no tobacco.
oh God, no,
no
that-
alcohol.
No, that would just be
No marijuana.
That would be insane.
That is ridiculous.
That's what do you think this is? The Netherlands? Come on. So that was in the moment that, again, allegedly she could have just been leaving to go to another bar.
She could have been the older
She
one.
could have been older than me for all I know. I don't know. I didn't check ID. I need to remember that tobacco is now
Yeah.
scheduled or categorized a little differently than it used to be.
I was like, and then there was a TABC raid.
right, that's
after
what.
that.
So, and me, then the paranoia sets in. It was like, oh God, wait, what if someone else saw that? And
That's what they do. As like I worked the bar and whatnot, and I was like not working the door one time, and the person came in and was like, "Can I get a drink?" Oh, like this, and like gave him a fake ID, and she just looked so young, and I'm like, dude, I was like, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
And TABC walks in the door 5 minutes later.
there you go.
Yeah. They're little tricky little efforts.
I just think I need to be I think the moral of the story is I need to stop being such a giving person and handing out cigarettes to every stranger that asks, because now if they're 20 years old and 11 months,
Well,
that's a charge.
March 23rd, he's going to be stopped being such a giving, nice person to minors when they ask him for things.
That's right. Yeah. Me and Richard Branson.
When they start texting him and inboxing him, he can't talk to him anymore. Just don't be that giving.
You should see my inbox is nothing but middle-aged dudes that are mad about what I said about the Cowboys, or mad at you for talking about the Niners too much, or
Yeah, they don't inbox me, man.
no, it's very far from the ideal
How
scenario.
can you have this Niner loving guy on the? You like my hat?
Like,
You like a hat? It's a little cartoon Niner right there, baby.
oh, is that a
over
little
there.
cartoon Prospector Pete?
He's a prospect. We like gold.
Now the only other thing I had, I'm dealing with a lot, because on top of my favorite sporting event taking place right now, the NCAA tournament, I've also got Tournament of Champions, Next Level Chef, and Top Chef,
Oh, buddy.
all new episodes right now at the same time. So I've increased my television consumption 300%.
Tournament of Champions. Is that new one?
That's Guy
with-
Fieri's one.
Oh.
Yeah, the Food
Have
Network.
you watched the new one with the woman on the regular the regular? It's NBC or ABC or whatever.
Oh no! See, add that one to the list.
It's
I haven't seen.
It's $1 million prize, and she gives all the shit. She's like, everything's like, you have to do these specific ingredients and try to do it. And there's always like, her thing is, we're gonna give you everything possible to make the best dish that you can make, and let's see what you create. So
I'm a sucker for cooking
I recorded
shows.
it. I haven't seen it yet, but the Gordon Ramsay, man, he's had a long stretch, and I'm just kind of over watching.
Next Level Chef's pretty good though. I thought I was Gordon Ramsay'd out, but it's pretty good.
That's a nice one because you got the running, the competition, the different levels.
There's a former Arizona Cardinal, he was like a third string tight end or like swing tackle kind of guy. He's on this season of it.
I gotta record it. I might watch it.
Again, like I said, I would never suggest you waste your time watching cooking shows, but if you do, all three of those are all new right now. So besides the sports, I've had to squeeze in some more time, which has honestly meant less time cruising the Tokyo Expressway lately.
Speaking of wasting time, let's go ahead and move along.
8:48. Let's talk some Spurs notes, shall we? Back-to-back blowout wins. Beat the Pacers on Saturday. Beat the Heat last night. That game in Miami last night, when the Spurs were up by 30, that was the biggest deficit all season Miami has faced at home.
They usually have a solid defensive, unit that works together, but when you get 2 put on you in the first half,
Yeah.
it's kind of deflating.
Yeah, that's not ideal, especially when your head coach is coming out and saying Bam Adebayo is more deserving of the Defensive Player of the Year award than Wemby. It's like, we're going to talk about the MVP argument here in a second. There's no argument about Defensive
There's no
Player.
argument.
I love you, Spo, for standing up for your guy. I love you for defending Bam's 83-point game. Like, I see what you're doing, and if I was a Heat fan, or if I was a Heat player, I would love it. But I think even if I was a Heat fan, I'd be like, all right, buddy.
There's probably there's a teammate that's still probably pissed at Bam, like taking Kobe's record.
Wouldn't surprise me. The big takeaway from Saturdays, we were joking on the stream Friday when I asked you to guess how many wins the Pacers had.
Yeah.
And it was 15. Well, it's still 15.
Yeah. I think they played the Sacramento Kings, and I was like, who's going to win that game?
Yeah, are we going to get
Are they going to light the beam?
best
actually?
chance to light the beam in a while? No, the big takeaway in that 134-119 drubbing of the Pacers was Dylan Harper made his first career start with Devin Vassell being a late scratch. Harper ends up going hyper efficient, 9 for 13 from the field for 24 points. But
The way he scores around the bucket is, Tony Parker just had, he had the burst and the speed, but he'll go underneath it. He'll dribble it. He'll, do a look back. But the way he puts the ball up in weird angles still amazes me.
well, it's also the benefit of being 3-4 inches taller than Tony,
Yeah.
4 or 5 inches taller than
Probably
Tony.
longer wingspan
Exactly,
for sure, too.
way longer wingspan, which allows for more of those angles and English around the rim.
It's just the creativity, dude, which obviously
It's an old school style.
He gets it from his daddy.
I was about to say
Yeah.
it's an old school style, clearly influenced heavily by Daddy Ron. But I mention Dylan Harper not only to heap praise on his first career start, but you remember Dylan Harper was at the heart of the Don Harris, Kevin O'Connor back and forth on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Really deserving. No, they would take, old buddy
Your boy, Con Knipple.
Con Knipple. Love the name.
So the going back to that the original back and forth was regarding just the first time Kevin O'Connor said, this was back a week ago, back on March 16th, when he did a podcast episode like we're doing here. He's a podcaster, NBA writer for Yahoo. And they were doing the NBA, a redraft of the most recent NBA draft. So if the Mavs still take Cooper Flagg first overall, who would the Spurs take second overall? Dylan Harper or Con Knipple? And Kevin O'Connor, suggested with very little hesitation and very little, lack of belief in what he was saying. He absolutely said, they would be a fool to not draft Con Knipple second overall in a redraft. And
just dying on that hill.
of course. And this is we're going to talk about this as a bigger topic here in a second with the MVP race and all of the national narratives that have come out about the three main front runners. But this is, as much as I love the NBA and I will watch a Pacers Kings Wednesday night matchup like a sicko.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part of NBA content creation that I am not as big of a fan of, because the exercise of doing a redraft and then saying, just based on what we've seen for 70 games, that, oh yeah, it's clear. The Spurs would be stupid not to take Con Knipple in a redraft. Look at what he's done for these 70 games. Like, all of the nuance and the analysis of this most recent draft class passed, it's all out the window now, because it's all about what we've seen the two players do just this year through not even a full season. Like, we're already talking about a redraft without even knowing who the rookie of the year is in this class. Not that really matters a whole
You're
lot.
also talking about someone who's getting 20 more minutes average a game.
1,000 higher usage rate, all of those things.
Imagine if Dylan Harper, and he will be getting 30 minutes plus a game, I believe, if not next year, the following year for sure.
Well, and he might even be getting a starting role when that expansion draft happens, depending on if the Spurs protect De'Aaron Fox or not in a couple years, because that's a whole nother conversation.
That's supposed to happen in 2 years?
2
right?
years, yeah. So anyway, the original post from last week of Kevin O'Connor putting out a clip of him, he knew it would drive engagement, It got Don to jump off sides. He fell for the hard count, and he replied, I can tell you as a fact, the answer is Dylan Harper. And Kevin O'Connor is saying, I can tell you as a fact, the Spurs would be better off if they had taken Con Knipple. And Don is telling you, as a fact, the answer is Dylan Harper. One of those guys actually knows what a fact is.
Yeah.
And in this scenario, it's clearly Don.
Yeah.
But that prompted the response from Kevin O'Connor just to snidely say, I added the Highly doubt it was just his response. And of course, that didn't go over well. We talked about it last week. So round 2, I saw this from yesterday. Kevin O'Connor tweeting out a clip from the show like you do for us after every show. Mm-hmm. And he's revisiting the topic now with a guest. And he asked the question, am I crazy for saying Con Knipple over Dylan Harper in a Spurs redraft? And the guest, again, repeats what Don said. Don really glued in, obviously locally, knows that's a fact, knows that's the right answer. But now even the guest is telling him like, yeah, no, I think that's crazy.
Yeah, you need to pump the brakes.
You need to pump the brakes. So again, Kevin O'Connor specifically refers to some pushback from local media he's gotten for the episode, which is what he did, what makes him money with his Yahoo overlords. But it gave us this response from Don. And these responses are a little longer than the ones we got last week. So Don responded to the clip yesterday that just said, first of all, here's the quote, I never said you were crazy. How do you think we're starting here? So Kevin O'Connor goes on the pod like, a bunch of local journalists telling me I'm crazy. It's like, well, no, they just said you were wrong.
Yeah.
And you couldn't take the L and move on. So now we're doubling down. So Don says, I never said you were crazy. I said I knew for a fact that the Spurs would do the same thing all over again. Two different things. But yes, I agree with Danny and the Spurs. To take Con over Dylan would be crazy. Danny was the guest that he had on this week. See my post with the Mitch Johnson soundbite. In the Mitch Johnson soundbite he's referencing is Mitch talking about how much Dylan has grown and he's growing into the role and he's going to be a huge part, foundational piece of the franchise for years.
The leap that he's taken from the beginning of the year to right now is Stephen Castle like last year.
Oh, for sure. And it's what you would expect from a top 2 pick.
Exactly.
Castle top 4 pick. So then Kevin O'Connor replies, it was a great quote by Mitch Johnson. I don't think Spurs would signal anything else but full support behind Harper. As I've said, he could end up the best long term, ! He's awesome. But right now, today, Con is definitely better. We'll find out in time. I love the debate! So again, doubling down with his belief that right now, as we sit here today, Con Knipple is a better basketball player than Dylan Harper.
He's a better 3-point shooter, not a better defender.
He's got better overall numbers because the usage rate's higher.
Yeah, is not a better defender for sure. And he definitely does not finish around the rim like Dylan Harper does or cause the chaos besides being at the arc. I don't see it. Is he even good? Like, how good is he off the dribble, like a pull-up, just creating his own shot?
No, he's not bad. I mean, he's not bad. He's a good shot creator.
But who's better?
I mean, I would still say inside of 15 feet, it's definitely Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
Maybe on the perimeter right now because of the shooting threat that Con poses. Maybe you would still lean Con a little bit. But you think Don took that reply and just said, yeah, great debate, Kevin O'Connor?
Don't tell me he's like, not a debate.
Don's reply, you missed the point. How about that for another great start?
Yeah, you missed it again there,
You
buddy.
missed the point. He's not better. He's just getting more of an opportunity because he's on a bad team. There's not a GM or scout on the planet who had Khan ahead of Harper on their draft board. Don's correct.
Yeah.
None, all caps, none would take him over Harper in a redraft. There's no debate. Just trying to, again, like, it's like when your uncle, when you think like he's picking on you, he's holding your head back and you're swinging at him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, we're stopping now. We're stopping.
He's like, that was a good fight.
Yeah.
You know, I think we'll call that a draw.
And then you keep coming back at him. Like Kevin O'Connor is the little nephew that just won't leave bad alone. Won't let the fight die.
It's like Edgecombe, like over in Philly. He's getting the minutes. He's got the same kind of game that Dylan has. I think he's a little bit better on the three, but I think Dylan has a slight edge on the finishing, slash into the hole. But I mean, if you give him 35 minutes a game, Dylan's almost going to average 20 plus points.
Well, and who's to say Edgecombe's not going to be the better pro than Con Knipple in 5 years?
Exactly.
Like again, like this is what we're arguing
Hey,
about.
white boys shooting threes have job security.
There's always a need.
There's always a need.
So Kevin O'Connor decides he hasn't had enough. He throws out one more reply.
Oh, this is Drake-ish. You know, like you lost the battle, bro.
I love it. I love it when an outsider, national talking heads try to do analysis on the Spurs when clearly you don't know what you're talking about, as Don has made it clear to him multiple times, but he just can't leave the fight. Kevin responded, "It's so silly to say it's just opportunity. It's not at all. Harper has also received plenty of chances, so let's be serious there." Again, on 2 days after Harper got his first start of the season.
Yeah, first start.
Yeah. To go against.
I mean, he's getting 10 minutes a game, so like, why is he not putting up 15 points? I'm like, he's still averaging double digits.
Harper has also received plenty of chances, so let's be serious there. And he's done really well. Sometimes a heavy opportunity can expose rookies, suggesting that if Dylan Harper had been playing more, he probably would have been exposed. Yeah. But Khan could be the rookie of the year and has been a top 40-ish player. Calling Con Knipple a top 40-ish player in the NBA this year. Like, these are the people that are entertaining and educating the masses on the game of basketball.
On the biggest platforms of like Yahoo and ESPN and oh my God.
I just enjoyed the back and forth coming off the heels of Dylan Harper getting his first career start.
We could be. How
many games has
believe
Con
it or not,
started?
Unless I misheard this, and I'm sure the voice of God over there is gonna correct me if I'm wrong. We might be the first team that has 8 people average double-digit points.
Oh, that's a fun stat.
Yeah, so it's everybody can put up baskets, and everybody, and like I don't know if we're leading in assists, but I know we're in top 5 in assists in the NBA. I know we're since the beginning of February, we're one in points, we're 1 to 3 in almost every major statistic, points against, free field goal percentage, all that jargon. We're playing on such a consistent and clean and everybody's involved game. We are the boogeyman that's going into the playoffs, and now we're getting nationally recognized through the 4-letter network and a certain screaming talking head, which leads to my point of Wemby and what he had to say when someone asked him, "Do you think you deserve the MVP?" Did you catch? I know you caught that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I caught that. He took jabs at Luka, Ant, Joker, and SGA.
Okay, I hadn't thought about it as direct jabs. I had just thought about it as...
The first one, what did he say? Defense is 50% of the game.
Sure.
Who's that jabbing at?
I think that's just more him saying, I'm the best defensive player in
He's jabbing
the game.
He's jabbing at Luka and Joker because they don't play defense.
Fair.
All right. He's like, there's more than just offense. It's a complete game. Then he goes into the disruption that he does while on the court. It doesn't need to lead to offensive points because everybody on the Spurs scores when I'm out there. That kind of is SGA, Luka, and Ant, who sit there and hold the ball, that the ball goes through them 90% of the time. So I forget what was his third statement, because he had 3 points that he put out.
The third one was the fact that they've beaten the best team in the league.
He put a target on every team, especially OKC. He is waking up, like he's calling his shot. And this isn't something new from Wemby that I had to kind of take a step back. When he got rookie of the year, he's like, oh yeah, what was his name? Trailblazers, Scoot Henderson.
Oh yeah.
He's like, Scoot's a great player, but unfortunately he was born the same year as me, so yeah, he's not going to win it. This guy is wired like Jordan with his competitiveness, his trash talking, the motivation, and the pure just need and want to win. So it's something we haven't really seen verbally and so dramatically as a Spurs franchise lately, but it's kind of refreshing.
It's certainly a different style than the previous greats that built the foundation of this franchise. But
Yeah.
it's first of all, for the record, Con Knipples started every game but one this year. just to put a bow on that.
Yeah, just twist the knife right there.
Yeah.
Get him, Don.
I hadn't thought about the direct comparison against the other two players angle, but you're exactly right in the way that it's Jordan-esque that he wants to win everything. There is no, and that's why going back to, I saw some of the initial responses to Wemby talking about, how he's the MVP. Some of the initial responses were, well, I don't like that he's focused on that, or I don't like that he's talking about that, or even cares about that, because all he should care about is winning a championship.
He didn't give the PC response, which is, I'm like, thank God. But can't, like, the thing is, are you going to crumble under pressure? Are you going to live up to it? You see that killer in some certain players. Kobe had it. MJ had it. Bird had it. LeBron at times.
At times. But at other times, he was letting JJ Barea guard him in an NBA Finals game and didn't score a point.
Last shot, I'll pass it.
In the fourth quarter of that game. Yeah. I was talking earlier on the radio show with Andy about this, and if you just look at the MVP odds right now, it's clear that SGA is going to win it. It's just the way it's looking, the gap. SGA is the front runner. He's got the best odds. Luka now has the second best odds.
And it's all just points per game.
Plus 1,000. And then Wemby's at plus 1,200. That was according to FanDuel earlier. But I pose to you, think back about watching the Last Dance documentary, or even some of the other interviews Jordan has talked about that final run, or that mid-90s run altogether. And one of the things that Jordan talks about the most, or has mentioned the most, is how much it personally pissed him off that they gave Karl Malone an MVP in the middle of his greatness, in the middle of his prime run.
Yeah.
Because it was all just voter fatigue of, look, we can't, guys.
And then they give him back-to-back
we can't
MVPs
give,
in Karl Malone?
I don't think Malone was back-to-back.
Okay, I know he gave him one during.
He got the one, and then Jordan went out and smoked him in the finals.
God help the Thunder, because that's going to be announced during the Western Conference Finals.
Usually, don't they do it second round of the playoffs?
I like the end of the second round.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like,
So that's what I propose. Of as much as I think by the time Wemby's 30, he's going to have multiple MVPs. I don't think that's not that much of a concern.
The kid's 22 years old.
And I think he's going to get his supermax because he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year and next year if he stays healthy. Now, if he was to win the MVP this year plus the Defensive Player of the Year, then he could go ahead and be eligible for the supermax now.
How does he not rattle off 5 or 6 straight defensive Player of the
as
Year?
long as it's health.
Yeah,
I mean, that's it.
Self.
And it's not, you look at the next closest odds for Defensive Player of the Year, it's not even close. It's Chet, and it's so fun. Like, it's clearly Wemby's award.
Yeah.
So as much as I would love to see Wemby get his first MVP this year, there's a little part of me that wants to see what a jaded, pissed off MVP rejected.
That might get us to a championship.
And that's my point. Ironically, the people that are saying he doesn't need to worry about the MVP, they might get their wish because it doesn't look, the odds right now, it doesn't look like he's going to win it, which is probably going to piss him off, like Jordan, as you said.
Who needs something to fuel the fire, and this is going to be it.
And he's going to be going directly up against SGA for all guesses in a Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to see Wemby going up against the MVP of the league, or even if Luka was somehow to pass SGA, if the Spurs played the Lakers in the playoffs, you're getting a pissed off Wemby who believes he's the MVP, as he just told us last night, and you're getting that amount of reaction on the court, not just through a press conference or anything. Like, I think that is a very real fun scenario to think about. It's going to suck if he loses it. I get it.
Yeah.
But the silver lining might be that he goes on one of the greatest playoff runs we've ever seen in league history.
Can we just say the MVP is an offensive award?
I think that's a great way to look at it.
Like, it's like now the MVP for the NFL is a quarterback's award.
Mm-hmm.
A Heisman is damn near a quarterback's award.
The only difference is at least the NFL still has Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
The NBA, it's Defensive Player of the Year and MVP. There's no Offensive Player of the Year.
But why can't you cap the offensive numbers when they're getting an average of 12 free throws a game? Take 12 points off their game. Wemby's averaging 24 plus. You got SGA averaging 31 plus, and I think Luka's right at 34, almost dead even. Now take away 12 points because of fouls, and Wemby's averaging 5 points, 5 fouls, free throws a game. It's just, it's a charity stripe. Those are gimmies. Those are all speculative calls. They're not amazing plays. Put the reel together of what, and you can put Luka's crazy threes in there. You can put SGA's, stop on a dime, pull up elbow shots and whatnot. And then put Wemby with the dunks, the dribbles, the threes as well.
The blocks.
Now we got the game winner.
13.5 feet
in
the air.
Blocks. And then go ahead and start putting some defensive plays in there. You're not going to see any defensive plays with Luka or SGA in it, or Joker.
No. And that's I think that's,
and as Wemby said, that's 50% of the game.
But I think you're probably thinking about it or looking at it the right way of just viewing the MVP as an offensive award.
Yeah.
Because if you're actually going to say who is the most valuable player, you're considering the value he brings on both ends of the court.
And he's missed the most time out of all those three players. And he's only 3 games back from OKC.
See, that's the other thing. If SGA, I know this sounds like a really dumb statement, But if the Thunder were a 5 seed, or if, I guess, yeah, it would have to be lower than the Lakers. Because I think if the Lakers were higher than the Thunder, Luka would be getting more push for MVP than SGA. But if it's the one thing SGA has going for him when it comes to MVP voters or convincing MVP voters, it's that the offensive numbers he puts up leads to the best record in the league.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is why I'm frankly surprised Wemby is even fallen behind Luka. That's just Laker bias, West Coast bias, national.
I think that's media bias. I think it's gonna be SGA, Wemby, and then Luka in the thing.
In the vote
unless
total.
they can put a big push, he creates some more MVP style moments. If they get to half a game with the Thunder to be in the best record or even pull off the best record, that's got to be a closer call right there.
See, this is the other problem or the other issue right now. You talk about getting to within half a game or passing the Thunder. The Spurs have won 22 of their last 24 games.
Yeah.
They're 22-2 since February.
And the one we lost, we didn't have Wemby, and the Nuggets came back from a 25-point deficit.
That's right. The problem is Oklahoma City has won 12 straight games now.
They're hot.
And the Lakers are 9-1 in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
So as the Spurs have been making this insane 2-month-long run now with Wemby putting up MVP caliber numbers, neither the Thunder nor the Lakers have cratered in the least bit, in the slightest. They are keeping up in the rankings, which is keeping Luka and SGA ahead of Wemby in the national voters' eyes, it seems, right now for MVP. Like if the Thunder had gone 5-5 in their last 10, and this was now a 1-game lead in the West, I think you would have a lot more of a national push for Wemby to be the MVP.
May I interject on that note?
Whoa!
Hey!
I saw
A
Sweet
voice
Carl
of-
sneaking in.
A voice of God that's not LG.
What's going on? Yeah. Actually, I want to bring up an interesting note on those wins that you just mentioned, right? I think we do need to take into a little bit of account of SGA's argument that they started off 24-1. Or something like that. Yeah, like because their second loss was the unscheduled game the first time they met the Spurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that proceeded to be 3 straight Spurs wins. So actually point Wemby and the fact that they were so good that Wemby then proceeded to hand them 3 L's in a row.
Right.
Like, actually their great start sort of helps Wemby's MVP argument in a weird way. So those wins right there, right before December 13th when they met, sure, give SGA some credit, but then give Wemby credit for stopping that buzzsaw. And since that game, so counting that game, right, I have these stats here. The Spurs are 36-9 in the 45 games that Wemby has played. Since that December 13th game, the Thunder have had SGA for 36 games, and they are 26-10. So Wemby has 1 fewer loss and several more games, 9 more games played, and 10 more wins.
I love your...
And I like the fact that you're bringing up the strength of opponents that Wemby has played and we have beaten.
Well, and
the Spurs have beaten.
The ammunition it gives Wemby to say, you want to talk about your great start, Oklahoma City.
That was his third point. He's
But
like,
who ended that great start,
Yeah,
or who
exactly.
put a dent in that momentum, as you would love to call it? Who
it is good momentum.
who halted that early season momentum and put the Thunder in their only pseudo funk they've been in at all this year?
Spurs have the best record since January 1st. Since in 2026, they're 30-9, and OKC's right there at 28-10. But like recency bias matters to me. It's like, okay, let's also talk about the 18-7 Spurs. Granted, they did well without Wemby, but the first games that Wemby played, I think Deep Fox was hurt. So remember, he had
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
hamstring. So
Vasella was out, our 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
And that stretched a little longer than expected.
So yeah, like they did not start the year healthy 100%. And in a weird way, that I guess OKC's had their injuries too. I'm not trying to knock that, but can we maybe say, okay, hey, they had a hot start, but since then, 2/3 of the season, the Spurs have been better.
Give me that Spurs record since January again.
So it's 30-9 since January 1st. Like they're in 2026.
So they lost 7 games in the month of January.
Yeah, it was a rough January. That was when Vassell was out, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but they haven't lost 3 games in a row. Only OKC and San Antonio haven't lost 3 games in a row all season. And yeah, the worst they played was when Vassell had an injury.
I kind of had forgotten that January was that kind of.
It was that lag right after the Emertes Cup?
The Emerti. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
after the it's the Cap. It's the Emertes Cup for Cap.
Yeah,
I forgot the coming out of the in season tournament. There was that little swoon, but that just shows again the 22-2 since the start of February is even more insane.
Yeah, but then we still played Thunder on Christmas, and we still beat them on Christmas Day. So we still were. We started playing to the level of our opponent, so we lost some of those easy games. But when it came to primetime games, the Houston, the Lakers, the Warriors, anything like that, Timberwolves, we stepped up.
Yeah, on that note, I have these games that they've lost. So just to kind of bring them up, I think they've had 2 bad losses in 2026, if that. Like when you really look at it, because the first loss was without Wemby. Wemby didn't play the first 2 games of 2026. They beat Indiana to start the year in Indianapolis, and then they hosted the Blazers and lost.
Yeah, the Blazers game.
Wemby's first game back, he only plays 21 minutes at Memphis, and they lost that one by 1 point.
We were watching that one live. We watched that blown lead.
At Minnesota, they lose by 1 point, which I feel like you can never say 1 point is a bad loss. Really, it's a loss. It's a tough loss,
especially to a team that is you could be facing in the Western Conference Finals, who's been there in the last couple years.
Exactly.
In Minnesota,
and Ant always steps up for Wemby.
The worst loss that they probably had in 2026 was the 4th game against OKC that they won by a lot. The final score was 119-98, and that was OKC avoiding the sweep, losing 4 straight games. So, I kind of in a weird way expected them to win if they were, they're still the champs.
Yeah.
I think OKC was missing a handful of guys for that game too, because I saw Thunder fans using that as we didn't have. I think Lou Dort might have missed that game. Maybe J-Dub or the other Jalen Williams. I think, or maybe Isaiah Joe. They had a few guys out, I think.
Vassell was out for the Spurs. Lou Dort, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Topic was out. But Topic isn't playing.
Really Hartenstein and
their
Lou
two-way
Dort.
guys.
Yeah.
They weren't there, obviously.
Sure.
So, like really, that game, okay, even then, you can't win them all, especially against OKC. But just to kind of wrap up that, like you said, it was a rough January. So wrap up January real quick. Pelicans, that was a bad loss. That was the bad loss I was thinking of. 104-95 at home against the Pelicans.
Yeah.
But, at Charlotte, that 11 a.m. start, you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was a 111-106, and I almost want to just throw that one out, 1 of 82, So,
yeah.
And that was it. Then the Spurs proceeded to go undefeated in February.
Wasn't that when they had the travel issues?
It was already a 2 o'clock start, and they didn't want people driving at night. Because,
That's right.
Yeah, people come into Charlotte, and it was 11
That was
a.m.
the winter storm and whatnot.
That's right.
They didn't leave, and they played the next day and still beat the Magic.
That was
112-103.
Yeah. Okay.
So all that being said, do you think the national media or the Sports Writers Guild, whoever votes for this, is still going to consider all that Wemby playing defense over points per game?
Well, even to that point, I was looking it up, and per 36 is a way to sort of average everybody out to if you were a starter playing 36 minutes per game, SGA is only scoring 4 more points per 36 than Wemby. So everything that he brings on the defensive end, how he can just change all of that. SGA, oddly enough, is a little more efficient at 2s, while Wemby's more efficient at 3s.
Yeah, which is just a sign of NBA basketball in 2026, where a point guard is more efficient at 2-point field goals, and a 7'4" defensive force is more efficient behind the arc. It makes perfect sense. I like the we might need some more Carl Schoening Spurs notes
sneaking up in here,
appearances.
man. Yeah.
If nothing else, when we don't have you in the flesh, throw that Zoom meeting out, because I love the heat. With the unexpected heat you're bringing to this segment, I almost feel like I don't even want to do a main seggy, because I could pick your brain about a few more Spurs notes I had here.
Yeah. Well, it's insane how they are the best team in basketball. And I didn't mean to hijack the segment, but I knew you guys would be good with that. So I was just wanting to throw out some fun stats that you guys see before Twitter does, because I'm going to tweet it out eventually, because I think the national media does need to be pointed out. Hopefully it gains traction, at least among Spurs fans, that Wemby is, obviously the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and the Spurs have been the best team for 2/3 of the season.
Unfortunately, I feel like with most things these days, providing logic and numbers to support your argument is not the way to go about winning a debate.
No, I've been on the internet before. I'm
Shut
aware
up,
of that.
nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not true. That's not true.
Watch the games. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, and that's the funny thing is, because I'm paying such close attention, I almost get them to the point where they have to admit they're wrong. Like the OKC fans literally thought that all 4 of the losses were badly injured, except for really it was just that last one that they didn't even care. Jalen Williams was the only one who missed the first 3 games.
Yeah,
Jalen Williams from Arkansas, not the good one from Santa Clara.
Not J-Dub.
Yeah.
The Arkansas. Did you hear Cap say earlier, talking about the MVP award as an offensive award? See, unfortunately, I think that's going to be the case moving. I don't know if you have, because if you look at, like you were talking about the per 36 rank or stats, if you look at the net rating stats, which is showing more of Wemby's defensive impact on games, Wemby blows SGA out of the water. The stats, I mean, it's like a 4-point difference between the two. But it just doesn't matter in the MVP argument, I don't think, anymore. I think
that should be such a bigger stat than it actually is. It's not brought up like what's the point differential when you're in the game? Because that to me logically seems like the whole point of an MVP.
Sometimes those can get a little funky,
yeah,
depending on rotational
over
groups.
82 games, over 70 games with injuries,
especially for someone with such a high usage number and so many minutes played. Usually, it does balance out to make for a good comparison. But
there's so many stats that you can almost create any argument you want. So I try to keep it to the major stats that the general public would talk about. Like somebody was trying to argue with me that Rudy Gobert is the best rim protector in the league because statistically teams shoot a fewer percentage of shots at the rim versus Gobert than Wemby. And I'm like, no, Wemby happens to be blocking shots at significantly higher rate. That your stat there does not cancel out blocks as a rim protector.
He has 10 games with 25 points and 5 blocks.
Yeah,
and
ridiculous.
You know what the rest of the league has? Of all the other players?
1, maybe?
10 games.
Oh, okay, all right.
So he's matched the entire NBA with 25 plus and 5+ blocks.
Carl, have you seen the stat that's out there about the amount of corner 3-pointers that the Spurs are shooting this year?
I don't have it memorized, but isn't it like a league record pace?
It's on pace for a league record. And when
of course, you got to try and stop Wemby at the rim
again. And how do you, if you want to create, you want to build the platform of Wemby's MVP campaign? Yeah. How do you explain that to people who don't just see how the offense is
getting
being
tripled down low every time,
or the role, creating that amount of spacing, opening up those passing angles where all of a sudden 3 guys are being sucked to the middle to put any kind of body or deterrent on Wemby, which is leaving the Spurs open to take the most
What's the
corner
record
3-point
for
attempts.
best
in league
high
history.
percentage shots per team?
Probably the 2014 Spurs. They had like some ridiculous number of like 56% open looks. But at the same time, like, you know, this Spurs team, I want to put on a young, raw, athletic level is just as fun as that 2014 Spurs team. Like, I legitimately
so
believe they can
exciting.
win a championship based off of raw athleticism and motor.
I've been bringing that up all year that this team is just, they are marketable because they're exciting. And that's new for San Antonio with just the pure athleticism with Dylan, Stephon, Carter Bryant, Wemby doing something insane that we haven't seen every game.
Yeah, how about Carter Bryant's elbow hitting the rim or armpit hitting the rim
is
last night?
ridiculous, dude.
Block attempt. No, there's way more. I feel safe saying there is way more action above the rim with this current group of Spurs.
Yeah,
than
it's
there
like it's ABA ball over here.
Oh, yeah.
man.
Remember when we got Richard Jefferson and we were excited for a player that dunked
For
4 times in a game?
athleticism,
Exactly.
yeah.
We didn't have to count on only Ginobili maybe getting a dunk.
And then Wemby's throwing down literally the most exciting dunks I feel like I've ever seen, just because it's not even fair. It's like a dad playing with his kid on a Nerf net. You
He
know?
just throws it all. He throws it off the backboard and just like, I just setting up my dunk. You know?
Yeah, unfortunately for the rest of the league, I think that appearance of man versus child is only going to, because again, I think looking at like Wemby's body build this year just compared to last year,
Oh,
So,
so got 10, 12 more, 10, 15 more pounds.
seemingly.
And to almost disagree to your point, Wemby's block per game average has gone down as the league has figured out not to shoot
Just
around
not to
him.
shoot.
Yeah. like they literally they tested him the first year and then word got around the league. It's like, you know what? If you see him out of the corner of your eye, just don't try.
That ridiculous where the guy tried to use the rim
Yeah.
to protect it, and Wemby was like,
Go
"Nah."
gadget arms.
No, you're not. You're better off just. You're better off not attempting. I'll ask you one more on the Spurs before we
Oh yeah,
move on.
then I need to refill my drink and let y'all get back to talking about what y'all
Yeah.
want to talk about.
I do want to ask you. I saw because as you think about the Spurs as true championship contenders this year, and you think back to last year at this time with about 10 minutes to go or 10 games to go in the season, the big talking point for the eventual champion Thunder last year was the lack of playoff experience on their roster that they had. It was like 178 combined playoff games on their roster last year. It ended up being the least amount of playoff experience of any champion ever by a long shot. And right now, the Spurs have like 296 games of playoff experience, but it's all
Barnes,
Cornette, Olynyk, Biyombo even has.
That's why you bring in vets. I mean, that's
1,000%.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I get what you're saying.
when
It's not
you-
the players that are super dependent on.
But it's also
way, yeah.
exactly 1,000. I mean, like obviously they're playing major roles in the system, but it's not. It's none of your. Every single one of your starting 5 has less than 10 playoff game, has single digit playoff game experience. But I do wonder, since we saw what the Thunder did last year, is this just what the league is now, where you don't have to have the starting 5 that have gone through playoff battles? Like, is it, I guess what I'm asking is it truly championship or bust from this point forward? And experience be damned, that's no longer an excuse in this league because of what Oklahoma City did last year.
I feel like everybody in the league is young for the most part. Like, yeah, I think we've sort of gotten to the point where the game has become so predicated on athleticism. You're not seeing players that can really keep up athletically out there anyway. So, that was one of the things my dad said on the way out when he retired was everybody's young and everybody's just trying to work in, G Leaguers that are putting their work in are like, they're going to routinely make the roster. And, you've never heard of who is it? Janice Jenkins, who's going off for the Pistons right now, you know, like, but they put their work in, and I think that's one of the things is it's almost becoming like the NFL ification of the NBA, where they want to work in, you know, athletic wings and guards, and, you know, you hope you hit on the ones that really go around a top 20 player that you acquire. You know, the Spurs arguably have like 4 of the top, I'd say 50 to 100 players. You know, and that's how you create a roster. And then when you do that, championship or bust. But, you know, 2 notes on the playoffs. The last time I checked, if everybody does their job correct, the rim is still 10 feet high. Court's still 94 by 50.
Full Gene Hackman.
Yeah. And the second point is, and this one is actually a bit more into the Spurs' favor, is that the usual argument is they allow a bit more physicality in the playoffs. Yeah. But you know, kind of what we were talking about, that's all people have really been doing with the Spurs, is trying to out-physical them, because that's sort of how you keep Wemby from maybe going off. At the same time, Wemby's been used to being physical since he was 16 years old, and that was still the only real defense against him, because like you guys were saying, I feel like it's worth, you know, making this comparison. He could be Wilt Chamberlain if he really wanted to. However, we live in the era where it's a bit more, you know, better for him to be Kevin Durant, and you know,
we want longevity, and plus there's way more analytics into the game. Where it's like, you just can't stand next to the rim and just be like, yeah, there's a ball in the hole.
Well, the positionless basketball really shows its advantages when you have a 7'5" guy that can play positionless basketball.
Yeah, and that's almost the point I was making about Wilt Chamberlain. It's like, Wilt, if you look at him, I think he said he was like 7'1" and 3/16 in barefoot. Right. But at the time, that was actually still probably almost the equivalent of Wemby, where it's like that's maybe 3 or 4 inches taller than the next tallest person barefoot.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of the time frame, you know?
Mean, Bill Russell was 6'9".
He listed 6'9". Yeah.
I mean,
and he was a giant of the game,
and
if you will.
Exactly. And dominant giant. Physical dominance.
Yeah. And you know, that I think in a weird way, you have to look at Wemby also. Everybody wants to talk about experience, sure, but this isn't like, you know, this is Wilt Chamberlain. This is like, you know, the 1990 Spurs, 1999 Spurs also were somewhat inexperienced. That was only like Tim's second year, right? Yeah. So I don't buy into that argument at all, really. It's just like sometimes, you know, there are better teams that have been together longer, and in the NBA, there haven't really been that many teams that have been together long.
Well, and even if you say 99 was only Tim's second year, but the experience of the Admiral and those battles with Houston and Sean coming back. But okay, well then let's look at 03. Tony's rookie year, Manu's second year, right?
Other way around. Tony's second year, Manu
second year, Manu's rookie year.
Which I'll say De'Aaron Fox's second year, the lefty off of the bench, Dylan Harper's first year, 23rd.
Just
Tim
saying,
Duncan won the MVP that year. Although they had the best record, I think.
With I agree with the athleticism remark, because right now, when you used to go to the playoffs, the game slowed down. Half-court offenses were more in tune. Defense, let the players play. But the athleticism that we saw last year with Thunder carried them to a championship. The year before was the amount of threes Boston jacked up, you know, and was making. They were just hot. Jalen, you know, anchored by Jalen and Tatum. Athleticism is going to win no matter what, because no one's going to stop to a half-court game. They just won't allow it. You know, like we grew up seeing the old Spurs do.
No, you're not getting nearly as.
And that's why Pop he gets the credit, but he doesn't get enough credit for totally changing his style to win another championship. Should have been 2, you know, but he totally changed his style to the sweet, you know, science.
The beautiful game.
The beautiful game, passing the ball, cutting, slashing, kicking out. It's a totally different game nowadays. And even in the playoffs, when everything used to slow down, get more physical, and that's when the veteran teams would really take advantage of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's impossible not to be giddy I think is
Yeah,
the
That-
biggest.
that's a great
like-
way to put it. Actually,
Like there's
Yeah.
there's exactly 10 games left in the regular season. I want to go to sleep and wake up for game 1 of the first round. Like I
fair enough. Cryogenically freeze everybody.
Exactly, especially
Forget the 65 game thing, which the Players Association pushed back hard against. I don't know if you saw that to support Cade today.
Yeah, it's we were talking. Okay, final thing, and then we will move on.
Sorry, yeah.
The used to it was a 70% of the games you had to play to qualify for like the scoring league, or be the rebounding league, any of the statistical categories. It's like in baseball, you can't get called up in September, have 10 at bats.
Yeah.
Go 9 for 10, and all of a sudden you led the league in hitting, batting 900. But the 65 game number, it doesn't feel like it's a whole lot of an identifier of whether you were actually a top 10 player in the league to be second team all NBA, or to be like, how are you, especially with I think the nature of the freak injury of the collapsed lung furthers the argument against the 65 game threshold, because it's obvious Cade Cunningham is not trying to rest load management. He's not trying to rest. He's not intentionally skipping games. He's not doing any of the things that the 65 game rule was designed and implemented to prevent.
And
so
now,
it doesn't.
now you have to go around and try to sit there and create like, oh, can we appeal this and do that?
And it affects guys' money. And that, above all else, is why I think the Players Union, the Players Association will say, hey, look, you're costing these guys $50 million if they miss out some $70 million on a super mag. You're costing these guys significant amounts of money for injuries that they really, like, especially Cade Cunningham. Like, what do you want? He dove for a basketball. Like, is that not the kind of action you want to inspire or promote amongst your superstars?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now he's going to be thinking, well, what if I puncture my lung again?
That cost me $20 million.
Yeah.
50 feels fair because we are like 10 games in, and Wemby needs to play all but so he needs to play 7 and at least 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So 50 feels fair, and at the same time, I feel like the 65 game has sort of done what it intended. Players are sort of coming back from injuries when they can play on them, as opposed to giving them 2 or 3 more days, which they might have felt afforded to do, which could have been 2 or 3 games. Yeah. And Kawhi was the first one asked about this, and he said, I don't really care. Like, no policy is going to tell me what to do.
Just ask my uncle.
Yeah, like that's actually like more or less a direct quote. He's like, no policy is going to affect me playing as many games as I can. And to his credit, I believe he's on track to probably be an All-NBA player this year.
Yeah, I think he's playing the most games he's played since Toronto year.
Yeah,
or close to it.
But again, to that point, I feel like he still is deserving of votes, and the fact that you can't even outright vote for these guys, it's that's where I feel like the 65 game has its hangups.
You say 50 game. I would even be okay if it was just 42, just one game over 50%. You played in over half the games.
Yeah. Well, Giannis wants to sort of like, he was in the NBA PA statement within the last, Cade Cunningham conversation, 48 hours, if not the same statement, where it's like, hey, Giannis wants to play, and we think that he deserves recognition for his play, even though he's on a bad team and didn't meet the 65 game criteria, and he's still going to make $350 million. So the Players Association's fighting back on this, and you're spot on it because it affects money from the players that do deserve it.
Yeah, that's where I think that'll be the driving force for any kind of change. And also, I mean, the league office, this is one fight. This is one less fight you need to take on with, like, you've got so many other.
Deal with the gambling issue.
Finish
How about
that.
How about we just deal with that?
On that note, I'm removing myself from the conversation and refilling some water.
Brought to you by FanDuel. I'm just like,
Finish that Kawhi investigation with the tree company while you're at it too. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Carl.
Thank you, Carl. Man, that was a solid hour of Spurs. So we started at 8:48. It's 8:43 now, or 9:43 now. That was a 55 minutes
Yeah.
of straight Spurs talk with
Straight
the
sports, Spurs stats,
also
opinions, hot takes.
should say with the Spurs back in action tomorrow night in Memphis at the Grizzlies. You can hear Carl on the pregame show on WOAI. Carl's got the local Spurs Net Center pregame, postgame, right before he hands it off to Dan. And then, of course, buddy Dylan still giving you the local pregame and postgame. Since that is a earlier start tomorrow, too, that means Carl and Dylan both will have postgame after the Spurs. You want to squeeze in some tournament talk before we... I say we just push it till Thursday.
Yeah, let's push it Thursday.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of already busted my basketball nut there. I kind of like that. Like that was more. I'd rather talk more Spurs.
His
than,
walnut.
That's
His
right.
walnut.
Oh yeah, nah. It's
Wasn't me.
it's. I'm a big fan of Tchaikovsky.
Yes,
Just a
exactly.
huge Nutcracker fan. Yeah, we went 26-6.
Yeah.
The games, I will say this. I think that Duke, I can tell you what, LG, let's do this as first segment of lightning round.
Hit him.
And we'll close it out here with this. We'll do a little tournament talk. LG might be getting a refill of that.
Hey.
After Duke's struggle in the first round against Siena,
You really got them winning it all, huh?
I've still got all four. I've still got all
You
four
got
of
all
my
your-
final
yeah,
four.
yeah.
Reminder: Duke, Houston, Arizona, Michigan. I
Yeah.
know really went out on a limb, took three
Three number
seeds,
ones, you know.
but I think it's going to be that
Luckily,
year.
it wasn't Florida. I didn't see them make it anyway.
There were three teams that rotated at the top of the polls all year. It was Arizona, it was Duke,
Yeah.
and it was Michigan. I think they'll all be there. They all make it to the Sweet 16. That Duke St. John's game is going to be
That's the game.
awesome.
That's the game of the tournament so far. I
That
can't wait for
reminds
that
me
one.
of the 90s, the early season game they would always play in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
This game is going to be in Washington, D.C., too. So it's pretty equal travel
Travel
from
distance. So-
Durham and New York City.
So I know New York. Duke is in. Where is Duke? Where's their I don't
East
know.
bracket. Oh, Durham, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right up the street. It's the
Well, once again, don't know where colleges are, buddy.
tobacco.
If it's not Oklahoma State or Alabama, I was like, I don't. It's
the
got a weird name.
Okay, what city is Alabama? What city is University of Alabama in?
Tuscaloosa.
Hey, well, we'll go with that. From now on, it's You just said it like your typical Bama fan. Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa.
Alabama!
No, it's the Tobacco Triangle. It's Durham, Chapel Hill, and Salem. So you've got Duke, University of North Carolina, who just fired Hubert Davis right before we went on air.
That was a given.
And then the home that Tim Duncan built, Wake Forest, right there in
Wake Forest. Oh yeah,
they're all within
I
7.
thought Wake Forest was in Boston. or
No,
something.
they're all within 7 miles of each other. Wow. And they call it Tobacco Road right there in North Carolina.
a lot of plantations out there.
Hey. We've changed since then. Duke, on this day, I'll save it for today. Canada allowed a certain group of its citizens to vote for the first time on this day you want to take a guess?
1967.
Not so much.
What group is it? Like women?
It was African American citizens.
Oh, 1938.
We passed our 15th Amendment in 1869. It got ratified in 1870.
But that was only for like 1/3. They only counted for 1/3.
There was there was a lot of Southern restriction and all of the 1/3 compromise, like all of it. But Canada on this day, 1839. Beat us by 30 years with no fractions involved.
No fractions. I don't want to do math when I vote.
Michigan State, Yukon, I think is an awesome game.
Yeah.
I think Michigan State has a solid chance to be the team that's playing the winner of Duke St. John's. How about a unexpected border battle between two of the most boring states we have in our union? Iowa versus Nebraska in a Sweet 16 matchup.
Damn, Nebraska and Iowa, man. I did not have them going. Those are black marks on my record.
Hey, they almost weren't there. That shot by
I know.
Vanderbilt went
Bro.
3/4 of the way
Oh my
down.
God, I thought he made it. I saw it go ding. I was like, it's in. And then it just like bounced off the back of the iron. I'm like,
I think
oh.
every Nebraska player thought it went in.
The players, you saw
Yeah.
the players like this. No.
Yeah, that was closer than Gordon Hayward's shot with Butler that bounced off the rim. Illinois, Houston, get this. So Thursday night or Thursday all day in Houston. So Texas Children's Houston Open is in Houston this weekend. Astros opening day is Thursday afternoon. Houston is playing their Sweet 16 game at the Toyota Center Thursday night. So if you are in the greater Houston area, you could go to the PGA Tour first round in the morning, go to the Astros opening day in the afternoon, and then go watch the Cougs take on the Fighting Illini.
Just think of the traffic.
It's going to be atrocious. Atrocious. It'll probably back up all the way to Culebra. It's going to be so bad.
Yeah, it's gonna affect San Antonio.
I do think Houston wins that game though. Arizona, Arkansas is really fun now. Did you see Darius Acuff got a signature shoe deal from Reebok?
Oh, the Arkansas kid?
The first college player ever to have a signature shoe deal.
Cornrows are back, baby.
He might be worse at defense than Trey Young. So careful what you're
All offense.
careful what you're getting. But he did, okay. Darius Acuff set the record most points scored by a freshman in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament ever.
Wow.
He scored 60 points combined against, who was that? Hawaii and High Point.
So Steph Curry wasn't a freshman when he first went in there.
He wasn't. He wasn't. Davidson, it was really sophomore, junior push that put him on the map. The record, though, is held by someone we were talking about last week. University of Kentucky, the team that lined up in the national championship game against the first all-black starting 5 in college basketball history. The Texas Western Miners, which became UTEP, against the Pat Riley Kentucky Wildcats. Darius Acuff broke Pat Riley's record. Pat had 58 points in the first 2 rounds his freshman year under Adolph Rupp.
Yeah, can't pop that bottle of champagne there, Pat.
Texas, the only really surprise seed, not Cinderella because it's Texas, and
I would say Iowa's a little bit more.
You know what? I think I would give you that. Even though Iowa's a 9 seed, they're way more of a surprise than Texas.
Yeah.
Texas beats BYU, beats NC State, then BYU, then Gonzaga. But yeah, no, I hadn't thought about that. Iowa is the Cinderella, if anybody is, for getting past Clemson.
Everybody's
and then
looking
Florida.
at Iowa State. I have them in my Final Four, and I was like, I didn't hear anything on Iowa, and they're over there in the Sweet 16.
That's just how Iowa likes it. just don't be talking about it. Texas playing Purdue, that'll be a tough matchup. But I mean, who's to say Texas might not be the team that's playing?
I need them not to be the team
Well,
because my bracket, I still have the advantage of the points that could be. Like, I'm still like edged out in both of my brackets.
Well, and again, the Texas homers are gonna,
and they all have them going to like,
sure,
yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the Elite Eight. You got to lose, Texas. I'm sorry, you're my second favorite team, my grandma's favorite team, but I need you to do what you do best, is lose when it counts.
Speaking of losing, one of the roommates' alma maters made it to the Sweet 16. Her grad school diploma from Arizona will be represented in the Sweet 16, but her born and raised Lubbock undergrad from Tech, they get the doors blown off of them by Bama. The JT Toppin injury finally.
Yeah, that the injury got him.
Bama taking on Michigan. It could be a potential fun game, but I think Michigan
How did
takes care
Bennett?
of
They're just
business.
rallying around their buddy who got pinched.
Who got popped? Yeah, yeah. I
He's
think
like, we're doing it for our man in the clink. He needs some bail money.
raise that NIL money and support. It was CBD. I
I
swear.
swear to God, I thought it was legal.
Go test it right now. Wait, don't do it. You're actually going to do it? No, don't do that.
No,
I'm
don't do
kidding.
that.
I'm kidding. And then the final game, Tennessee, the fighting Rick Barnes. All Rick Barnes does is get to a Sweet 16.
God, man.
4 straight years now in a Sweet 16 with Tennessee taking on Iowa State. Iowa State is good.
Yeah, I got Iowa State.
Yeah, they are legit good. They're dealing with their own injury as well. We'll see if their second leading scorer is able to play. I might have already had the news that he's out from the tournament.
Ugh.
I got to admit, I'm not up to date on my Iowa State injury alerts.
Not so much. All right, hit me, LG. All right. It's sad to say we got to pour one out for the man, the myth, the creator of OnlyFans has passed away after a long battle with cancer at 43.
Well, how long was it if he was only 43?
Leonid Radovinsky. Yeah, sure, that's how you say it.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, it checks out. Yeah. All you girls that have made so much money on OnlyFans, tie those panties to your car, drive down the parade, honor your man.
Go
That
honking.
gave you a platform to be your own boss, to do what you do best and service the people.
I didn't
Pour one
realize he was Ukrainian.
It sounds like Ukrainian.
Yeah, I had to look it up. I didn't realize. Born in
Now I'm really with Ukraine.
Odessa, born in Odessa, Ukraine, but raised in Illinois. I was looking to see what was there like an initial stroke of genius to come up with what led to
Well, the webcam, he just made it an easier platform for webcam girls, and that tracks with Eastern Europe.
Okay.
May or may not be willing participants. Who knows?
So OnlyFans originally was not a straight NSFW platform. It was more like
I don't know.
Twitch or Kick or even YouTube
Yeah,
or something
it
like
was
that.
like
It was
the
more.
li-
It was content
It
creation.
was content creation, donations, and it didn't have to be nudity. It didn't have to be sexual, but that's what it turned into.
Annual revenues in excess of $6.6 billion.
That's a Billy.
He received $472 million in dividends from the website in 2023. The previous years, so 2021, 2022, and 2023,
Yeah.
he received 284 million, 338 million, then 472 million over those 3 years. And then 2024, that jumped all the way up to 701 million. So
Caked up.
for
He
those
couldn't buy the
doing
cure
math,
for cancer though.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. What kind of cruel God?
Stem cells, man. Come on.
If you're not a religious person, I would think you could look at the fact that someone that creates the platform that produces the most pornography of anything in the world dies at 43 in some sort of penance for
Hey,
his
I'm not a religious
sins.
man here.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know where
no,
you're
no,
going.
no,
I don't
no.
know what you're going with
No,
that.
no, I'm just suggesting there might be some irony there. Hit me, LG. Yep.
LG.
Yep.
LG.
Yep. Hey.
Hey.
I like the Carl distraction. We need to have Carl on more often, especially since we do Spurs notes every episode. No, I wanted to ask y'all. LG, hop in here if you have anything to say, or hell, even Carl again. I don't care. Why am I hearing so much buzz about Project Hail Mary?
Oh, I don't know. It looks like a cool ass movie.
Never heard of it.
The new
It's the Ryan Gosling. It's the movie that's coming out, like where he has to save the world, but he sees aliens.
So it's
and-
based on a book by the author that wrote The Martian.
Yeah.
It's the same guy. So it's another sci-fi tale, but it's getting like 99, 98%
It
on
looks
Rotten
good,
Tomatoes.
dude.
It's making a bunch of money. I saw.
I kind of want to see it in the theater. Like I don't really go to the theater that much. But
That's what I was about to say. It feels like it's almost getting to the point, the tipping point, the Malcolm Gladwell tipping point.
We're getting closer to the summer.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, that too. And there's no CGI, which if you're doing a sci-fi, like
There's
built.
no CGI.
No, they built it's a puppet, like old school. Like the alien is a puppet. I'm telling you,
I'm in.
Like right, it feels like as much as we bitch about like movies not being like our childhood, this is basically like an ET.
Hey,
Puppet alien
You got my support.
story
I will
again.
watch it, and we need to come back and revisit it and tell us some more.
I hear it's like 3 hours long.
Hey, all movies are 3 hours long.
Oh, fair. Okay, yeah.
All right, hit me, LG. What I'm all in on is the story of a professional cornhole player.
I knew you were gonna have this. Even Uncle Andy put this on the run sheet today. That's how you know it's a big.
Oh, a quadruple amputee cornhole player fatally shoots a man. And this is where it gets interesting. Not only you're like, okay, quadruple, you ain't got no legs, no arms.
I think that's what that
Right.
means. Yeah.
How you pulling the trigger?
More questions than answers, my man.
And then to add on, he was a passenger in the car in the front seat that he was driving.
I was about to say, hold on. He was not a passenger.
No, he shot the passenger.
He was the driver who was driving with no
you
arms
gonna
or
let
legs.
the car, like I'd be like, yo, I got this. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna drive. Like that's more scary than me worrying about LG dying in his Tesla.
I would think the bigger question for me is how quick was this? I mean, is he Doc Holliday as a
Dude,
quad amputee? How quick was he to pull the gun out and fire? Because that can't be a fast process.
That's not a quick draw.
No.
I mean, he had cornhole experience, so the thing is, he had two passengers in the back seat that he said, "Help me get this guy out," and they instantly got out the car and left. And he ended up getting the body out of the car on somebody's lawn about 12 miles away.
Again, more questions than answers, which makes me wonder if he just did
Give
like
me a ring camera.
a Fast
Give
and
me a ring
Furious.
camera.
He
of
just
this.
opened the door and then slung the
Exactly.
back end around, just sling it out.
You've been playing too much
He's
video
Tokyo
games.
drifting, trying to get the body out of the back or out of the front
But
seat.
this story is developing, and I am all in on it.
This is one of those stories that we get every year, or like the Pizza Rat in New York,
Yeah.
a few years ago, or the big brawl we had on the pier a couple
Yeah.
of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Oh, man, that was great.
That was great,
That was
right?
great.
But it's also like, why the hell am I hearing this story? It's absolutely
Because
of
we're
no-
all amazed. We all have
We're
one
not.
question.
We're all
How?
We're all constantly
How?
we're all constantly seeking forms of entertainment, and that's what this provides. That's all.
This
It's
is a
not
conundrum
newsworthy.
Wrapped in
There's
a
no-
mystery, enveloped in hyperboles. I don't understand so much to this. Driving, pulling a gun, killing someone, 2 people bounce, dropping the body off on the lawn somewhere else. Like, I need video.
This story was on.
Video.
I saw this story on the front page of obviously Reddit, Drudge Report, multiple mainstream news.
I Googled to see if it was
websites.
true.
It was even on ESPN's front page in the list of headlines because ESPN had done an E60 feature on this guy.
And to clarify, he wasn't driving either.
Okay.
Because you know
He
what
said
kind
he
of
was
you know
driving.
what kind of car he had?
Oh God!
He had a
dang
Tesla.
it. God.
I hate you so much, LG, dude. Like, no wonder he had a self-driving car. That's how he pulled out the gun. Now you just unraveled the mystery of this and made it not so.
What? Does that mean we have potentially cameras?
Oh, cameras. Where's my camera?
yeah.
There's got to be something.
There's gotta
There's
be.
probably like 8 different angles.
Oh, dude! Someone.
So if we get the Tesla camera, I'll applaud Tesla if we get the camera of him pulling the body out of the car.
As many news sources have covered this, someone file a Freedom of Information Act request. We need
Come on, Anonymous.
Society needs this.
Come on, Anonymous.
We need this footage for the safety
Of course, he had a Tesla.
Of course.
That doesn't make me feel safer. It really doesn't. I'm like, do I want the quadruple amputee driving somehow with some little nubby little arm things that he puts it into, like locked in?
But is it a spectacular detail that I didn't know until LG just told us? Yes. Yes, it is. And
no, he's poking the bear.
For that reason, I'm glad you put it on the run sheet because I was going to skip it because I'd rather talk to Carl for 2 hours about Spurs instead of... No, hit me, LG. Let's do... I'll do some Today in Sports before you close us out.
Yeah.
Let's pull some up. Since you got mad at me, if you missed the live stream Friday, Cap got mad at me for ending these always on a downer.
Yeah,
so
don't put the deaths at the end.
We're going to do deaths
Okay.
second. Because I don't want to start on a downer.
You true. Yeah, just
So
wrap
we're
it
going to
in.
go 1936. On this day, Detroit Red Wings beat the Montreal Maroons 1-0 in the Stanley Cup playoff game they were participating in. Wouldn't be very newsworthy except for the fact that one goal was scored with 16 and a half minutes left in the sixth overtime.
Good God.
The longest playoff game in Stanley Cup history, 9 periods, a total of 176 minutes in that game. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, 1980, the 42nd NCAA men's championship game was played. Louisville beat UCLA. Only reason I'm mentioning it is because it was the Cardinals' first title game appearance, and they win their first title, which is always nice. They go 1-for-1 in 1980. 1984, IOC agreed to a 6-team exhibition baseball tournament in the Olympics. First time we had Olympic baseball. It was all amateurs, but we are pretty sure we're getting Olympics back at the LA Olympics. In 2028. Do you remember this? I mean, I do, but I forgot how massive the number was because we've since seen guys like Kyle Tucker get crazy numbers. 2019, already the 2-time American League MVP Mike Trout signed the biggest contract in North American sports history at the time.
Was it 400 mil, 10 years?
12-year extension, $426 million. Technically, $426.5 million.
Yeah, that was insane, but it was 12 years. He was like, I'm a lifer.
Yeah, he was clearly saying, I'm okay with never getting to play playoff baseball. 2019, Gronk retires from the New England Patriots, only to, of course, eventually come back and play with Brady in Tampa Bay. On this day in 2020, isn't Shinzo Abe the prime minister that got assassinated?
Yes.
Well, on this day, he was still alive and was still the prime minister of Japan. He announced the postponement of the Tokyo Olympics due to the global COVID pandemic.
And that's how he got.
So this was not the day that Shinzo Abe got shot by a 3D printed homemade gun that was brought to a rally. But there are some other deaths to get to. 1911, Stanley Robinson, an American civil engineer, streetcar magnate, which back then, if you owned a bunch of streetcars, it meant you had enough money to own not just one baseball team, but 2 baseball teams. And the only reason we're mentioning this guy's death,
because they kept on giving
it's the guy that sold the players, traded them from the Cleveland Spiders at the time to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Dirty St. Louis.
To make the Cardinals a actual playoff team and to make the Cleveland Spiders the worst team historically.
Still got beat you by the Yankees.
In baseball history. 2016, one of the greatest. Well, okay, what sport does this guy play? Johan Cruyff.
Johan Cruyff.
Johan. Oh, wow. That was a great pronunciation.
Sounds Russian. Hockey.
No and no.
Boxing.
He's Dutch,
Dutch.
and he played
Soccer.
soccer. He was the Ajax.
Those Dutch can play soccer.
He was the Ajax legend. That was back when the Dutch Ajax were winning the European Championship every year because Johan Cruyff. If you're gonna say Pele or Maradona were not the greatest players ever,
Yeah.
it's Johan Cruyff. Like that's
You don't put Messi up there?
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Messi's probably your fourth on Mount Rushmore. I think that's probably Rushmore.
So Johan Cruyff is Mount Rushmore.
I would take, without being alive for any of them, it's impossible. I mean, Maradona just looks like a soccer player unlike any I've ever seen in my life. I think I would, just for pure peak talent.
He had that performance enhancing.
Well, he did have some of that. And
Yeah, you won. Get this little.
he had a hand. He had a hand of God from God. But yeah,
That was a handball.
I think that is your. I think that's your Rushmore. And then last death day, does the name Carl Scheib mean anything to you? He died in 2018. He has a record. At the time, he set a record in baseball in MLB in 1943, playing for the Philadelphia A's, Philadelphia Athletics. Probably managed by Connie Mack.
And he died when?
2018.
The Philadelphia A's?
Mhm.
So he was a minor leaguer. Most ejections.
He was, in 1943, called up to play a game in the major leagues at the age of 16. He was the youngest player in MLB history at the time, even younger than Ranger legend David Clyde.
Wait, what's this guy's name? Because the Philadelphia A's were the Oakland A's eventually, so they were the other Philadelphia MLB team. And my dad, is it CarlScheib?
That's it.
Okay, I'm just saving that for later because my dad might know that. So that I just wanted to save that point.
Yeah,
for,
ask
Yeah.
Papa Schoening if he can give us 90 seconds on the career of Carl Scheib and report back,
So,
because
yeah, no. And I'm sorry, I missed what he was noted for. Could you repeat that?
he played a game for the Philadelphia A's in 1943 at 16 years old, set the record for youngest player in MLB history.
So that's actual MLB. He went to the show, but it was just so it's like 2011. I'm like, oh, he must have played.
Yeah, no.
in
He
the
died.
80s.
He died
Yeah.
in 2018,
Oh yeah, and I thought
but
he
he was
played
born
in like the
in
80s.
what's that? 1927. Is that
Yeah.
the math? Yeah.
1927, January 1st.
There we go. Oh, it was
Yeah.
a New Year's Day, baby. And then lastly, we'll close out
Thank you,
with
Carl.
again.
No. That's a really fun fact. He must have been a legend in Philadelphia. He definitely knows who that guy is, I bet.
And on this National Cheesesteak Day, it's only appropriate we give love to a Philly legend.
Yes.
Birthdays 1893. George Sisler, a AL MVP, multiple-time batting champ for the St. Louis Browns in baseball. 1915, Gorgeous George Wagner, an American wrestler known for popularizing the use of personas.
Yes.
He was one of the first guys to
I remember old Gorgeous George.
assign. I think you probably remember a next generation version of Gorgeous George, or you remember Boy George, who you think is gorgeous, because the original Gorgeous George died
He
in
has feminine features.
He
Dude.
died
All
in
right?
1963. It's easy to be confused these days. 1956, born on this day, Gary Templeton, a baseball player that I had completely forgot about. Shortstop for multiple teams, mainly known for the Padres on those good Padres teams.
Yeah.
Bruce Bochy led Padres teams. He was a 3-time All-Star, and he won the Silver Slugger twice. I didn't remember Gary Templeton as that much of a
Impact player.
needle
like that.
mover. Born 1973, an idiot kicker, as Peyton Manning once called him.
Oh, Vinatieri.
Idiot kicker.
Close.
Oh, no. Damn it.
We have that on quick recall? Holy jeez. Mike Vanderjagt,
Vanderjagt.
born on this day, 1970. And ironic enough, born on this day, 1976. 5-time NFL MVP, 14-time Pro Bowler, the man who called his own Pro Bowl kicker an idiot kicker.
Sweet Peyton Manning.
Sweet Peyton Manning, born on this day in New Orleans, Louisiana. Last couple here, 1984, Chris Bosh, of course, up in the Dallas area. Watched him a lot when he was in high school at Dallas Lincoln. Was a bit of an admirer of the 6'11" guy shooting threes in high school. It's again, when you think about born in 84, he's 2 years older than me. We all grew up watching Dirk do that up there in North Texas.
I can shoot a three.
I can shoot threes, coach.
I don't need to be down low all the time.
Chris Bosh, a incredibly underrated NBA player. Injuries.
Well, that's what happens when you go on a team with two other superstars.
Well, yeah, no question. But I think if I was in that position, sign me up to leave Toronto to go play with D Wade and LeBron. And then
I'm tired of the poutine.
This was not the day he died, because he is still alive and celebrating a birthday. Born on this day, 1998, Buffalo Bills safety, a man that, what's her name, once gave her 5th place MVP vote to the training staff of the Buffalo Bills because they revived Damar Hamlin.
They gave it like someone gave an MVP vote to the training.
You don't remember that? Yeah,
No,
it was.
I did not catch that.
It was the who's the ESPN? Who's the female ESPN training staff MVP? What is her name? I cannot. Susie Kohler.
Oh yeah.
Gave her 5th place vote in the 2022 NFL MVP ballot. She wrote in the entire medical team of the Buffalo Bills.
Way to just waste your vote.
We got to take this vote. We got to take these votes away from some people, Cap, on this day. We can't have Susie Kohlers out there burning a 5th place MVP vote. That's what I got for you today in sports. Without further ado, the closing baton is yours. Carry the hammer. Take us home.
Hit me, LG. Now going through non-proper channels.
Oh God!
Just for LG's.
Off to a great start.
We're gonna see how society has become with our labor workers, especially one of the richest men in the world, maybe second or third, Mr. Bezos.
Carlos Slim
is now using the woke agenda to make the laborers work even harder.
What the hell are you about to present?
Go ahead. Here we go.
Here, I'm pulling it up on the proper channels that you sent.
Oh, you're going to put us. Don't you do that to me. I hate you so
Okay,
much.
so we are now viewing the LG's.
We're viewing a screen recording that somebody screen recorded and posted, that Captain screen recorded and sent to me on my phones.
You are such an ass.
So we have.
The Amazon, as you can see, put it closer.
Yeah, please.
Closer.
Please. Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Closer.
That's the right angle. The lighting is perfect.
This man is an Amazon delivery driver, but it's a bicycle. It's literally a Flintstone car.
Okay, it's got a.
Look at it. He's got to rush out there and cut across traffic.
It's got an electric motor. The pedals charge.
Oh, you already know about this.
I might have looked at purchasing.
LG, we're gonna talk later. That was out of line. That was out of line.
LG, you keep chasing that paper, Playboy.
But no, you knew about this, and you're like, oh, it's got an electric motor, but I still see him pedaling hard, man.
Well, you got to charge the motor. I mean, the hamster's got to spin the wheel.
So he's got to pedal his ass to these places, and then get out the bike car, Flintstone mobile, to go deliver another package, get back in, I mean, how much is that man getting paid?
Do you realize how many packages we have to deliver in this country? We can't just be giving every delivery driver AC and seat belts and motor combustion engines.
Sir,
what are we talking
you
about
are a
here?
slave monger right there.
Look, I'm a man who loves profit margins, and
I'm a man who loves profit margins. Speaking of profit margins, get at us if you want to be a sponsor on Sports Cave Live.
That's right.
We will give you a good deal, unlike this man over here. He'll make you ride a bicycle in the heat while delivering packages and say, good luck.
that's part of their healthcare plan. Actually, they make
They're
their employees
their heart
healthier.
giving
That's
out?
right. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, Amazon has the lowest rate of heart disease among its
Imagine
workforce.
seeing my big ass in one of those like, that's the only way I can get it. I gotta pay. I got 3 kids to feed.
Look, I'm not going to say I wasn't already imagining it, but you giving us a demonstration certainly made.
You just see me sweating and cussing. You motherfucker, flicking off all the drivers.
I would just love to see the condition the packages arrive in.
Oh, I'm throwing them.
Yeah,
I'm throwing them. I'm
exactly.
like,
Exactly.
get out of here.
You know what? Between the two of y'all, as we close in, hell, Carl too, since he's still here. Between the crew here, closing in on 1 year of doing this,
It was good.
I think we've grown.
We've grown.
We've shown you can.
We can show
You can send
LG's a petty
videos
little ass, dude. You know.
the proper channels. Your clothes. Look, that was a hell of an ender. That was a hell of a. I give you. You're back up to 600. That's
750. I'm a 750.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Yeah.
3 out of 5. I think we should take that.
All right. I'll
LG,
take
get us
that.
out of here. Cap, tell the good people where they can get a hold of you.
You can get me at hold of me at Twitter and Instagram at the Captain's Chair 210.
Hey, Twitter world.
And then hit us at almost everything at sportscave.live.
Keep sending those grinder requests. We love it. LG, tell the good people when's the next stream.
Don't know.
Don't know, but if you see LG at the Spurs game's in Memphis tomorrow. Well, listen, instead of LG
Listen to
teasing,
Carl Schoening.
Listen to Carl Schoening do pregame. Thanks to Carl for hanging out with us for an hour talking Spurs. We're gonna twist his arm and make that happen more often. If you want to get
bribe him more to come over.
If you want to get a hold of me, get me on X at Biggest Puma, Instagram biggest.puma. We might do something to celebrate a year. If not, seriously, thank you all for supporting this thing. We'll keep it going as long as y'all want it. On that note, y'all be good. Peace.
Yankees tomorrow.
I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it.
Kids, what do we say about drugs?
Only